And welcome back to another episode of Craig Plays Games. I am your host, Craig, and we are here for our 22nd video in the Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Trilogy playthrough that we've been doing here in our YouTube series. We are on episode 5 of the first game, and this is the 5th part in our series on the 5th episode, as we're about to dive back into the courtroom. Before we do that, though, let's get some plugs out of the way. You are checking us out here on YouTube at Craig Plays Games. Feel free to hit that like button if you're enjoying the videos that we're doing. Hit the subscribe button if you want to become part of our family. And hit that notify bell if you want to be made aware of when we go live with a new video. On average, there is a new video on our YouTube once a day between our YouTube exclusive playthrough series as well as our live Twitch streams. Talking about Twitch, you can find us over on Twitch at Craig Plays Games, where we do about 4 live streams a week, focusing on a multitude of multiplayer and online type games. So go ahead and hit us on that follow, and that way you can be made aware when you go live with a new live stream, and as well as come in and hang out with us in the chat. It's designed to be interactive, where we can hang out with you guys. In addition, you can find us on Twitter at Craig Plays Games, where we give updates on the schedule as well as general commentary, and we're interactive there as well. So if you hit us with that follow and tweet at us, we will definitely respond back to you. With that being said, let's dive back on in. In the last video, we were investigating more into the SL9 incident as well as into the murder of Detective Goodman. Started to find out some more details as to some of the new characters we've encountered, such as Officer Marshall and Ms. Angel Starr, and kind of figuring out that they were part of SL9 case, which was also Edward's big break into being a prosecutor. Let's go ahead and dive on in, save the progress for sure. Episode 5, Rise from the Ashes. And we're diving back on in. I think the prosecution is as confused as we are. After all, the victim was murdered in 2 different places at the same time, and a different suspect was arrested at each of the crime scenes. Lana's back in here. Good morning. I apologize for yesterday. I was indisposed. I hope that didn't hold you too long for questioning. We just finished, actually. I'm used to all-nighters, though. It's double-loaded. So how'd it go? It says, Mr. Wright suspects. The police are clueless. I figured as much, so I struck a plea bargain. What? We agreed that if I told them the truth behind this simultaneous murder, they wouldn't seek capital punishment. That's what I mean. Much of my regret, I'm as much in the dark about this as they are. Miss Skye. We found trace evidence of a certain person in the police department's evidence room. They belonged to Officer Jake Marshall. What kind of trace evidence? Blood-stained fingerprints, to be exact. That's the trump card I have up my sleeve today. Alright. You do understand what this means, don't you? In order to defend my sister, you're going to accuse Mr. Marshall? We have to play the cards we're dealt. Isn't that right? Do what you have to do. Interesting. Back in the courtroom. Defense is ready. The prosecution is... I'm afraid you have to clarify. It takes 30 minutes by car to reach the police department from the prosecutor's office. Yet the victim was slain at both places at the same time. It's not physically possible, is it? What's more, I hear the victim from the evidence room just disappeared. Yes, and the body eventually reappeared in the trunk of Edward's car. Wow, this is one messed up trial. And that it is. One of my duties as prosecutor is to present impartial evidence. Today, I will present evidence relating to the murder at the police department. In so doing, I believe the way in which we should proceed will reveal itself. Now that's what sets him apart. He's also on top of things, even though he doesn't know what's going on himself. And that's supposed to be an admirable trait? Great question. The day of the crime, what exactly transpired at the police department? Edgeworth, you may call your first witness of the day to the stand. Prosecution calls the suspect of the murder that occurred at the police department. Things are getting wild from the get-go. Will the witness please state his name and occupation? Yes, sir. I am Officer Meekins. My occupation is, that would be murderer, sir. I mean, that's not your occupation. So telling us you're a professional killer? Sir, it was me, sir. I am the one who did it. I'll never kill anyone again, sir. You've got to believe me, sir. Okay. Sir, I'm what you would call part of the younger generation, sir. The person whose actions adults can't possibly comprehend. Alright. Officer Meekins, give us your report of the crime. Consider that an order. As you wish. After all, I'm part of a generation that must be told what to do, sir. You can't fault him for a lack of enthusiasm. Fault him for a lot of other things, though. Witness testimony. Although it's not my normal duty, I was assigned to guard the evidence room that day. I spotted a suspicious man on the security screen and rushed into the room. I was only doing what I was trained to do. I was suddenly attacked. I fought for my life. Then I did it. After that, I passed out until another officer smacked me awake. So the victim, Detective Goodman, attacked you. Do unto others before they do unto you. That's the Meekins family motto, sir. Let's see. Then you fainted and a colleague helped you regain consciousness. Yes, sir. He knocked me upside the head, sir. Very well. The defense may begin its cross-examination. What I need here is more info to work with. Cross-examination. Although it's not my normal duty, yeah, let's push right there. You work in the General Affairs Department, do you not? Yes, sir. I am in charge of hiring new recruits, sir. That's definitely a scary thought. Evidence transfer was taking place on the day of the crime, which meant many officers were given special tasks not ordinarily performed. I was in charge of guarding the Blue Badger. What? The lovely police mascot created by the Chief of Detectives. I was to ensure it wasn't broken during the transferal process. That was my sole mission for the day. How'd you end up guarding the evidence room? Let's see. Sounds like a very important mission. After the award ceremony finished that day, there were so many people running around that I relocated the Blue Badger to the evidence room. Okay? So that's why you went to the evidence room. Tell us, what did you see when you got there? I spotted a suspicious man on the security screen and rushed into the room. In order to enter the evidence room, you need an ID card, am I correct? Precisely, I have one right here around my neck. So then, your ID number should be listed on here, right? There it is, I found it. This is the one right here. Could you please read us the number? Yes, sir, it's 498-9596, that's my number. I see, but the number went in at 450 and showed being used twice. So is that when he put it in there? It's no real mystery, sir. The first time is when I relocated the Blue Badger to the evidence room. And the second time is when I went to go get him after everything settled down. So it was during that second time when... Yes, sir, that was when I spotted the man on the security screen. I was only doing what I was trained to do, sir. I was suddenly attacked. So you were attacked. Can you please tell us exactly what happened to you? It was a knife. Detective Goodman pulled a knife on you? What happened then? Well, with me charging in on him like that, he looked as surprised as I was. You aren't exactly the kind of person someone would want to run into. That's when I reacted. I swung my arms like an octopus, struggling to detain him. That's how I got this gash on my hand. Maybe if you just kept your cool, your hand wouldn't be. When I saw the blood trickling down my arm, I panicked. I grabbed the man by his collar. I fought for my life. Then I did it. What exactly do you mean when you say you did it? I know I don't look the type, but I'm really into kung fu films, sir. The man let his guard down for just an instant, so I snatched his knife from him. He took the knife. I spun him around and performed a disarming maneuver, and made sure to close my eyes like a man. That's... what? He must have been desperate. The next thing I knew, his white coat was drenched in a sea of my blood, and the next thing I knew, he punched me right in my face, sir. Wait, what? After that, I passed out until another officer smacked me awake. But what time did you regain consciousness? No offense, sir, but how am I supposed to know that? I was unconscious. According to the report from the officer that woke up the witness, it was about 5:30. He hit me right in the head, too. I woke up crying tears of pain. That's nice. I mean, it's nice that you recovered, that is. When I came around, though, I made sure to finish my mission, sir. Your mission? Yes, sir. The Blue Badger, sir. Return him to the entrance before things got out of hand. Really? I believe we now have a fairly accurate picture of what happened. Only one thing remains clear. Was the man this officer murdered really the victim? He's got a point. With regard to that, sir, take a look at this. It was sent to my jail cell. Chief Gant delivered it to me just this morning, sir. Delivered it? What is that? A videotape? Yes, sir. That's absolutely right, sir. A videotape, sir. It contains footage from the security camera in the evidence room. That's weird. But I specifically asked if there was such a tape and was told it had been mistakenly erased. That's quite a mistake. I just do what I'm told, sir. It's the only thing I'm really good at. Looks like the communication with the police department is as good as ever. Well then, let's have a look. Show us the video of you murdering the victim. Oh, please stop using that word murder, sir. It scares me. A video of a real murder. Just what are we getting ourselves into? There's the Badger. 5:14. There's our victim. Of course, there's a flag blocking its face. Nothing fell out. There's Meekins. There's him getting punched in the face. The music with the murder at the same time is pretty funny, I'm not gonna lie. There's Meekins on the floor. Don't see Detective Goodman anywhere. Technically, we don't see a murder actually happen. What? Well, I believe we're all thinking the same thing. How can we deal with these unsettling feelings stirred within us? What the hell was that wriggling piece of plywood? Sir, that is the pride and joy of the entire Criminal Affairs Department, sir. It's the Blue Badger. Why am I not surprised this isn't going smoothly? Yes, well anyway, this tape seems to prove that the witness did indeed encounter, well, someone in the evidence room. Your Honor, instead of relying on clearly incomplete footage, the witness's testimony will suffice. Is that alright with you, Officer Meekins? Yes, sir. As you wish, sir. Witness testimony. His face can't be clearly seen in the video, but there's no question that the other person was Detective Goodman, sir. I mean, he opened the locker which required Detective Goodman's fingerprint to do. The locker he opened is unquestionably Detective Goodman's locker, sir. So it must be him. No one else could have unlocked it. Interesting. What's this about a fingerprint? Each detective has been given a locker equipped with a fingerprint-activated lock. These locks ensure that each locker can only be opened by the detective it belongs to. Intriguing. That would mean the victim at the crime scene would have to have been Detective Goodman. Very well. The defense may begin its cross-examination. But everything begins with contradictions. That's where I have to start. So we'll just press on everything. The face can't be clearer seen in the video. Tell me, were you able to get a good look at him? At the face of the man who attacked you with a knife? If you must label people as having seen or not seen the man's face, I believe I would be classified as the latter? What? You were standing right in front of him, were you not? More to the point, you are the person who fought him, aren't you? Oh yes, sir. But I didn't get a clear look at his face. I'm not the kind of guy who looks directly at people when talking with him, you see? Yeah, that's a good trait for a police officer. Still, I'm sure it was him. I'd bet my badge on it. Okay. There's no question that the other person was Detective Goodman, sir. But you don't know that for sure, do you? You never actually saw his face. Well, I suppose you might say that. That is, if you must label people as having seen or not seen it. Since his face can't be identified in the video, only you can verify it. Why is everyone looking at me? If I had to label your stares as disturbing or... Okay, enough. Meekins. Having been shown a questionable video at best, we are not in the best of moods. Now please be more certain when you testify. You claim the man who brandished a knife on you was Bruce Goodman. Tell us why you are positive it was him. I mean, he opened the locker which required his fingerprint to do so. How with these lockers? Is there no other way to open them? No, sir. I myself tried all kinds of methods in the past. They only respond to registered fingerprints. I wonder what kind of methods he's tried. That's a great question. The man opened the locker's lock, which only responds to its registered fingerprints. Then he must be the person the locker was assigned to. Exactly my point. The locker he opened is unquestionably Detective Goodman's locker. How do you know that? I've heard rumors, sir, from people in the know, sir. People in the know? The workers in the department cafeteria, sir. They keep me informed. They also listen to my romantic troubles, sir. Don't want to know anything about that. For the record, the open locker did indeed belong to Goodman. I verified this information through a more reliable source. So the victim opened the locker with his own fingerprint. So it must be him. No one else could have unlocked it. However, the most important detail is not shown in this video of the man's face. Sir, if I may say something, sir, please do. After all, you are the one being examined. I don't understand why the man's face is so important in this case, sir. I mean, it was his hand that opened the fingerprint lock, and it was his hand that tried to thrust his knife into my body, sir. My unsettled state can testify enough to this, sir. Yes, you have a point. The footage doesn't lie. That is, unless the defense can find a problem with it. Let's check the court record again. Is there a problem with the security video? The only thing I want to know is, was that door open when... after the murder happened? Or after we see Meekins? So it's closed there. So there he is walking in. It opens, a glove falls out. Meekins is rushing in. Door still open. He gets elbowed. When did that blood happen? It seems weird. And then we see Meekins down on the ground. Door still open. I mean, there's definitely something wrong with that. I mean, the other problem is that there's a problem. Regarding the video contained on this tape, there is one thing in particular that seems rather strange. This contradiction leads to the possibility that the man may not have been Detective Goodman. What? This video contains such a contradiction? Interesting. Your Honor, I have a proposal. Yes? I propose we have the defense point out to us this alleged contradiction in the video. You would want me to point it out. Very well. Proposal accepted. Let us further inspect this piece of evidence. I will now play the security tape. Mr. Wright, please show us this contradiction you speak of. I have to point out a problem in the video? This is the first time I've ever had to do that. You can do it. It's set up so you can fast forward, rewind, or pause the video. Just take a good look and be sure to point out the right thing. Please don't play it too many times. I can't stand watching this video. How did this guy ever become a police officer? Great question. Where is the contradiction? So that guy's bag is to Meekins. He got punched. Oh. He said he got punched later. The thing that's strange about the video would have to be this. I don't get it. Would you mind if I borrowed your eye medicine? Okay, so not that. Okay, let's get for all this. Another thing is, like, we have a bloody handprint on the way out. I'm gonna pull the blood there. What am I looking to point out? That's the main question right now. I mean, keep playing that video. We'll figure this out. But it's just the parts that are probably pretty frustrating in the game. Yeah. Fast forward, fast forward. Oh, I hit the wrong button. Fast forward. My other thing that I noticed was this light. Why is it lit and all the other ones are not? The thing that's strange about this video has got to be this. Officer Makins. You mean me, sir? Yes. So I understand that the locker apparatus works like this. When you grab the handle, a sensor reads your fingerprint. If it's a match... Yep, exactly. The light turns on and the lock is released. According to my very limited experience, that's the way I understand it. If so, there's something seriously wrong with this picture. Because that light is on. The victim reaches for the handle to open the locker. Let's run to a little earlier. Here, notice the light? It's already lit. Precisely my point. The locker was already open before the victim grabbed the handle. What's the meaning of this? It's very simple, Your Honor. The locker wasn't locked on the day of the crime. The locker locks are controlled by an electronic system. When a door is shut, a sensor is triggered, and the locker is automatically locked. That's not likely, Your Honor. The sensor would detect and report any malfunction. Oh well, it just goes to show novices should keep their mouth shut. So then, do you have an explanation? Yes, why wasn't the locker locked? Yes, well you see, this is exactly my field. What do you think, Miss Scientific Investigator? Maybe something like jam the system sensor. There's something else that seems out of place in this video. Then in that case... Fast forward, fast forward, fast forward. If anything was keeping it open... Oh. It'd be that glove. This is a continuation of the part I showed you earlier. Okay, we gotta wait again. Something white fell out of the locker. But sir, it's been my experience that things fall out when doors are open. Okay. We can't be sure that item was completely inside the locker to begin with. What do you mean? The sensor triggers the lock when the door is shut. What if something was inserted, say, between the sensor and the door? He opens it, and the glove falls out immediately. This white thing wasn't inside the locker. It was stuck between the door and the sensor. Just my tie. 2 out of 3 times it gets stuck in the door when I get out of my patrol vehicle. Okay. The object would have to be extremely thin to fit in the door. Not only that, it would also have to block electrical currents. It would need to be an insulator. Yes, an insulator, but the crime scene, it just might have been something that fits the description. By insulator, don't you mean? I think I finally got this figured out. Very well. Will the defense please present the relevant evidence? What was this insulator? Where is that glove? Rubber glove. Found this near the locker, a thin rubber glove. We can't be sure that was in the victim's locker. It has to tag this as the SL9 incident. The video seems to depict the victim opening the locker. That isn't the case. The lit lamp attests to this. On the day of the crime, even I could have opened that locker. Is this not so? Sir, it would appear so. Order, order, order. So are we to believe then that the victim, whom this witness stabbed in the evidence room, was not Detective Goodman? Do not be misled. What do you mean? The defense has merely demonstrated that possibility and nothing more. The victim in the video was indeed Bruce Goodman. The prosecution would offer one more testimony to prove this. What? Officer Meekins, please testify about this. I'm not sure what you're referring to. Oh, you mean that, sir? Of course, sir. Is this a joke? Oops, it sure does seem that way half the time. Very well, begin your testimony. There's one other thing that proves a man was Detective Goodman. To enter the evidence room, one must use their ID card. When an ID card is used, there's a record of it. At the time of the crime, the detective had used his card. I have the ID card record here, right here. The ID used at 5:14 is that of the victim. Just before the crime, Yes, without a doubt, this is the victim's ID. However, one thing does strike me as unusual. Several hundred cases should have been due for transferal. Why were there so few people using this room? This particular evidence room is only used for storing certain special cases. Special? Extremely violent cases involving police staff. Just hearing that makes my hair stand on end. So, this is an SL9. Add something else up with it. There are only a few cases up for transferal there, and most were cleared out by noon. Now let's move to cross-examination. Alright. There's one other thing that proves the man was Detective Goodman. So unlike your earlier testimony, you believe this to be rock solid, do you? Yes, sir. Solid as stone. If my hand wasn't wrapped in bandages, I'd even give the V for victory. Couldn't he just use his right hand for that? Well, probably. Let's hear him out. To enter the evidence room, one must use our ID card. When an ID card is used, there's a record of it. At the time of the crime, the detective had used his card. Earlier, I believe you testified that when you asked the man to show his ID card, he pulled a knife on you. Yes, sir. He didn't show me any ID card, sir. Don't you think that's odd? I mean, if he had his ID card, all he had to do was show it to you. Why did he draw that knife? Maybe he just panicked? Everything stems from contradictions. Point them out. The problem with this ID card testimony is far too obvious. Not like Edgeworth to miss something like this. So what? Prints in his ID card. Wait one moment. I'm not good at waiting, sir. I have the victim's ID card right here. I found it at the crime scene. When I say crime scene, I'm not referring to the evidence room. I mean the other crime scene, the underground parking lot. Your Honor, I have one more piece of evidence to present. It's a very important clue regarding the victim ID's card. A lost item report is only half completed, but it shows that Detective Goodman had lost something on the day of the crime. Something important enough to fill out this report. Let me guess, you believe there's something to be his ID card. Can't say for sure, but there is a high probability. On the day of the crime, Goodman was not carrying his card. So now, what does this all mean? It can only mean one thing. It doesn't even require much thought. The man Meekins encountered in the evidence room was not Detective Goodman, but rather the man who stole his ID card. Order, order, order. Does the prosecution have a response? I have only one thing to say to the defense. Bravo, Mr. Wright. What? Bravo. Allow me to summarize the defense's argument. At 5:15 p.m. on the day of the crime, the man in the evidence room Officer Meekins encountered was not Detective Goodman. There are two grounds to support this. First, the locker in the evidence room was already unlocked. Second, the victim lost his ID card. Am I correct so far? Yes. What's he up to? That being the case, we must inevitably arrive at a single conclusion, that the victim in this video is a fake, and the murder in the evidence room is also fake. In other words, the security camera does not show the instant of the murder. That is, well, I guess that's right. Is something wrong? Only moments ago, you seemed content to be pointing your finger around. Yeah, definitely not going to end well. Yeah, doing that wave thing. Finger wave. Seems you finally realize exactly what you've gone to such lengths to prove. The defense has already done the explaining for me. The victim in this video is a fake, which means a murder did not take place at the police department. So the real crime could only take place in one location, the underground parking lot at the prosecutor's office. The murderer being Ms. Lana Skye, the defendant. The evidence is compelling. A trustworthy witness observed the moment the defendant used a murder weapon. Oops. So, seems kind of weird. I knew that testimony was way too shabby. It was all a trap from the beginning. The activity in the evidence room still leaves many questions unanswered. Who exactly was the victim Officer Meekins encountered, and where did this person disappear to? However, this trial's purpose is to examine only the murder of Detective Goodman. Just so, Your Honor. That's right, you have to do something else, Lana. What do I do? How am I supposed to get myself out of this mess? Object, for sure. One moment, Your Honor. What now? Don't tell me you're objecting to what you've just proven. Of course not, but I almost walked right into the prosecution's trap. What are you talking about? This cross-examination has proven one thing and one thing only. The security video did not show the actual murder. Dun 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 dun. Oh, what was underneath his arm? However, it cannot be said that it is unrelated to the murder in the parking lot. Specifically, large amounts of blood traces were found in the evidence room. The defense demands further examination to the truth of the matter. Mr. Edgeworth? Yes, Your Honor? If this court were to examine this further, other witnesses will be necessary. Is the prosecution prepared? I'm sorry. The prosecution considered the incident at the police department to be unrelated. We have not prepared any other witnesses for this incident. This just might be my chance. Time to call a certain Texas Ranger to the stand. Your Honor, the defense would like to request a specific witness. Oh, whom do you have in mind? Someone we have reason to believe knows the truth behind the activities that took place in the evidence room. The prosecution requests to hear this person's name before deciding whether or not to comply. Very well then, Mr. Wright. This person whom you would have testify, what is his or her name? Jake Marshall. Officer Jake Marshall. Why him? I can't let him know everything just yet. He's in charge of the evidence room. I feel we should hear what he has to say. The prosecution agrees with the defense's request. Since he was responsible for guarding the room, we should hear his testimony. Fortunately, he works in the police department. We shouldn't need longer than 20 minutes to prepare. Very well. The court will take a 30-minute recess while the witness is subpoenaed. Will the prosecution please prepare the witness during this time? We will. Court is now in recess. So out in the lobby, we have Lana. There's no stopping you, is there? Huh? What do you mean? You called for Jake Marshall. Seems you figured everything out. I really haven't figured anything out. You're the one who knows everything. You always know everything. Why don't you just tell us? Mr. Wright is trying his hardest to protect you. I don't recall ever asking for his protection. How can you be so cold? Don't you trust us? Don't you trust me? Hope I'm not interrupting anything, pals. I mean, you are. Oh, guess I am. I'll come back later. Wait, Detective Gumshoe, what is it? You've got a lot of nerve, pal, making a detective run all around while on duty. And to top it off, you call me here. I've seen happier people at funerals. What? You better be, pal. Hey! I didn't see you there, Chief Prosecutor Sky. That's okay. So, have you brought what I asked? Oh, okay. Oh, ho. You mean this, right? My apologies, Detective. Due to my present circumstances, I was forced to use Mr. Wright's name when making my requests. My name? What is going on? Never in a million years would I have thought it was you who asked me. Could I bother you to bring me the SL9 incident files? I'll need them by noon. Talk about crazy. The SL9 incident? Polana, I thought Mr. Wright might need them, so I had them brought here. Here, you might do well to read them. I can't believe you, the chief prosecutor, were a witness in that case. What? What is going on? Joe Dark killings. It was all 2 years ago. Take it from me, you don't want anything to do with serial murders. Oh, what? Now that I've brought you your stuff, you're just gonna ignore me? Why is your name in here? What? My name's in there? I don't know, unless... No, it couldn't be Lana. This SL9 incident, is that... That's the classification number the police filed it under. 2 years ago, the rest of the world knew it as the Joe Dark killings. That's over with. No. What? Wait, she ran away. You know what? I just remembered. I gotta be somewhere. Sorry, Pablo, I'm out of here. What is going on? Jake Marshall, Angel Starr, Damon Gant, Miles Edgeworth, not to mention Lana and Emma. Everyone involved in this case is connected to those killings 2 years ago. This can't just be a coincidence. Knowing you just might be able to figure it out. Time to get back to the trial, Mr. Wright. Best of luck. I'd better take a good look at this file. To be continued. And with that brings us to a conclusion of another video here on the Phoenix Wright Trilogy. Our 22nd video in this series. Looks like we have a few more still to go through. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Thanks for taking the time to check us out and hang out as we play through this game. You are checking us out here on YouTube at Craig Plays Games. If you liked the video that you just watched, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button at the top, and hit that notify bell to be made aware when we go live with a new video. We usually go live with a new video on average once a day between our exclusive YouTube playthrough series as well as our live Twitch streams. You can find us over on Twitch at Craig Plays Games. We do about 4 streams there a week, playing a multitude of online or multiplayer type games. If you hit the follow button over there, you'll be made aware when we go live, and you can come hang out with us in the chat room. It's designed to be an interactive experience for everybody involved. Then over on Twitter, we are at Craig Plays Games. We post updates to our schedule and general commentary, and if you follow us over there, shoot us a tweet. We will definitely respond to you. That being said, thank you so much again, guys. Next time, we are going to pick back up in the courtroom, I would imagine. Until then, thank you so much for hanging out with us here at Craig Plays Games.